Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Saturday, the 24th of July, and we have a jam-packed show for you today on the Just Joe Football Show. It is, of course, a time for another episode of the Daily Leeds. Everything concerning Leeds United, Elland Road, and Thorp. Before we do get into today's video, I have a call to action for you. If you're on social media, you'll have probably already seen this, but there is an annual awards ceremony called the Football Content Awards. It's a chance for content creators to be recognised for what they do. So I have put myself forward for Best New Content Creator. If you could vote for me, that would be absolutely amazing. Listen, I don't think I'll win it. There's my main man, Conor. He's going for it and probably deserves it, so vote for him as well. LUFC Lewis as well has been nominated in a number of categories. Best Young Content Creator, and my good friends All Leeds TV, who won it, by the way, last year, are up for Best in Video, Best Content Creators, Best Club Content Creators, and Best in Socials. So you are, look, LUFC Fan Zone, they're all there. They're all there, okay? The link is in the description to this video. So if you could do me a solid, go find Best New Club Content Creator, vote for your main man, get me to the award ceremonies. We're going for the win. If you could do me that, I would be forever in your debt. And that's enough waffle from me. Just make sure you do that. Help a brother out, okay? Like this video, and I'll stop talking now and we'll start talking about the juicy stuff. Let's get into it. And this is the moment when I take a stand. So, guys, we're going to start, first of all, with Leeds United are in for Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher has been linked a number of times, not least about a month ago. And it turns out, actually, guys, to be fair, that Victor Orta had spoken to him a month ago and had put an offer on the table. And he's still waiting to hear from Conor Gallagher. That was reported yesterday as well. The Leeds have already held talks. It's already gone, right? It's already done. But since doing so, they've been playing the waiting game as Gallagher ponders this offer. And he has an offer between us and Crystal Palace. For me, it's a no-brainer. You pick Leeds United. But I suppose, look, Crystal Palace, closer to Chelsea, closer to London, new project, Patrick Vieira, a number of new signings. Maybe he's been allured by that. I'm not too sure. But for me, of course, I'm biased. There's only ever going to be one option. We'll speak a little bit more about Conor Gallagher in some more detail. Am I a fan of the deal? Yes. I understand why people are upset because the deal is with a loan, no permanent, no with a loan to buy. It's just a loan. And we could end up with another Ben White saga on our hands. We could end up having him for a season, increases in his market value. He's probably not going to get in at Chelsea. Facts. Will he come to Leeds United under Bielsa, improve drastically, which I imagine he would. I think he would be unreal in this Leeds United side. There's a lot of people tell me, oh, we can do better. I struggle to agree with that. I think Conor Gallagher is the perfect player to come in at Leeds United. That's just my opinion, though. Football is a game of opinions. I heard people say to me on Twitter, oh, well, he didn't do out against us. Yes, that's 2 games. Yes, that's a snapshot. And he was in a poor West Brom side. We're going to go through Conor in some more detail. Joe Urquhart did a great article earlier on. I'm going to put the link to the description in that as well. But I'm just going to read through some of the key points of that. But yeah, so it's a two-way tussle, it would seem, between us and Crystal Palace. We've inquired about taking him on loan. As I say, this was done over a month ago, so why it's been just coming out now, I'm not too sure, but it's definitely, I think the Athletic have got a sniff of it. Phil Hay broke it, and then as you can imagine, it's just rumbled on. But we are targeting the 21-year-old. But like I said, Chelsea don't want to sanction a permanent transfer and are open to a temporary switch. Of course, Crystal Palace are also said to be vying for his signature. I think they would be happy with a loan. Maybe Leeds United, well, I know the fan base seem a little bit split on it, but clearly Conor Gallagher's open to a loan because he spent he's been at Swansea, he's been at West Brom, so we'll have to wait and see. But just some more information on what Conor Gallagher can bring to this Leeds United side, because as I said, there's a lot of fans that don't agree with it. I was quite surprised to see quite a lot, like say how we can do better and stuff. So I'm just going to read through the article that Joe Urquhart put together with Express and Star writer Luke Hatfield, who knows, you know, a lot about Conor Gallagher. The full link to that article is in the description. But hopefully this might change your mind. So as we know, Conor Gallagher has a wealth of first-team experience. For just being 21-year-old, he enjoyed loan spells with Charlton Athletic. He was brilliant in that season in the Championship. I think he spent half a season there under Lee Bowyer. I remember listening to Not the Top 20, you know, the podcast, the Championship podcast, when we were down there, and they were glowing about him. And of course, he then moved on to Swansea, and last year spent a year in the Premier League with West Brom. He made 30 top-flight appearances for West Brom, scoring twice and bagging 2 assists as the Baggies were relegated to the Championship. Okay, you might say their numbers aren't great. I get it, but he's playing in a side that's pretty poor. Now, he was one of the few standouts in that team, though, along with the likes of Mateus Pereira, Dean Garner, etc. Particularly during the first half of the season when he was playing under Slaven Bilic. He showed a lot of energy, a willingness to work hard throughout every game, and also was a goal threat, particularly with late runs into the box and from the edge of the area, which would be ideal for this Leeds United side. Sam Allardyce came in, and you could tell really that he didn't suit that style of play, you know, the one that Big Sam wanted to introduce, lump it up to your big man up top. So it's fair to say maybe, you know, faded slightly towards the end of the season, but he still applied himself. Just on his playing style, he's primarily a box-to-box midfielder, encapsulating the traditional style of an 8 with an all-action, non-stop work ethic. He could be played in a 10, but he maybe lacks the ability to carve a team open with a pinpoint pass or ball over the top to really flourish in that position. He's the type of player that could probably do a job on either flank too, if you asked it of him. So again, that fits into a Bielsa-type player, a player that can play a number of positions, but his true position is right in the heart of midfield, getting from box to box and using his energy to help control the midfield and make those long busting runs forward to get on the end of goal-scoring opportunities or split defenders. I hope I'm changing your mind already. It's a great article, this, and gives us a great insight to what he'll bring. He went on to say he's got a bit of everything, really, which is a great sign from such a young player. His energy and pressing ability are his biggest attributes, though. To fit a common footballing cliche, he is like a Duracell bunny on the pitch. That's everything you need from a midfielder in a Bielsa side. He says he won't stop running and seems to have an absolutely amazing engine. He can carry the ball, but he's better playing it out to a more accomplished, creative player and then getting himself into a position to get on the end of things with runs that stretch opposing defenders or cause chaos in the penalty area. Giving it to a Mateus Klick, giving it to a Rafinha, Jack Harrison, then getting in the box, occupying defenders, pulling into positions that means he can then put it in the back of the net. Genuinely, I think Conor Gallagher would be a really great signing. Luke was asked, would he suit Marcelo Bielsa's style at Leeds? Is his work rate high? Absolutely. I'd say it's ready-made for Leeds' famed high-energy style of play. It doesn't surprise me one bit to see him linked with a move to Elland Road, and I'd tip him to be a success there too. Me too, genuinely. His work rate and general energy were unrivaled at Albion, and alongside a player like Calvin Phillips and some of the other players at Leeds' disposal, I see him flourishing. I imagine Bielsa will absolutely love coaching him. So, you know, for me, he's ticking all the boxes. If you were undecided before, based on what Luke's telling us, you've seen him week in, week out, and those that have seen him grace a football pitch in the Championship, in the Premier League, know what Conor Gallagher's about. He's a fantastic player. You know, forget what he did last season in terms of, oh, well, when we played West Brom, he was ineffective. That's because West Brom were rubbish. Put him in this Leeds United side and he would flourish. Genuinely. And even if he comes in, he's got to move out of Klick and a Dallas. But if Klick's up to it, if Conor Gallagher's in there, you've got Calvin, honestly, you've got Rafinha on the wing. Maybe we bring in a Noah Lang, you've got Jack Harrison, Patrick Bamford, Rodrigo. I think he would fit in like a hand does to a glove, genuinely. And then he just said, anything else you'd like to add about him that we might need to know? And he said, not too much, although if I were Leeds, I'd be trying to get some sort of option to buy included with any loan move. I fear he could suit the club's style of play so much that you might have another Ben White Brighton circumstance on your hands, where if there's no clause included to buy, that Chelsea could hold Leeds to ransom come end of the season. Which we could. I was speaking to my good friend Gary from Talking Shut. He gave me a call earlier on, and yesterday evening, and we were chatting about the potential signing. And look, I said I don't get why everyone's kicking off about it being a loan. I know it's not ideal, but if you can bring him in for a season and then maybe Lewis Bate comes in, or maybe we're looking to sign someone else come the following window, because he's already thinking streets ahead. He's ideal for what we need right now for me. And look, but like Gaz said, and I do agree with it, is that we could then just increase this guy's value, you know, tenfold, and then we want to buy him, and Chelsea say, yeah, but it's going to cost you 50, 60 million, because we've got a number of clubs wanting. So I get that. We don't want another Ben White saga. So it is, you're sort of between a rock and a hard place. But thinking of this season, bring him in for me. Bring him in for me. I'd be well on board with that. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Have I changed your mind after going through that article? The full article is in the description. Make sure you check it out. Of course, what I did find interesting as well, obviously we heard that Matheus Pereira has apparently been frozen out at the Hawthorns. He's not gone on any pre-season trips. He's not been used in the game. And does this link to Conor Gallagher and the fact that we've already reached out to this kid a month ago and we're still waiting to hear from him? Does that mean Matheus Pereira is never going to happen, never was? Because surely we'd have been further down that road with him. Do you know what I mean? The fact that it sounds to me that we're waiting on Conor Gallagher before we move on to that next target. So I think until we know Conor Gallagher's at Crystal Palace, we're going to be waiting for him to make that decision. I think he seems to be the #1 centre midfielder that we want right now. Another player that, of course, we want is Kristoffer Klaesson, and he is poised to fly to England for a medical next week. I thought this would have already been done. I said as much just before we signed Lewis Bate. But Leeds are getting close to wrapping up the deal for the Vålerenga goalkeeper, but it's likely to rely on FA's exceptions panel for a work permit. We know that Klaesson needs to get a work permit. Now, he needs 15 points in the new system to qualify for a governing body endorsement. This has been put together by Joe Donoghue of Leeds United Live, so really grateful that he did this. So basically, that's better known as a work permit, okay? So you need to have 15 points in order for you to qualify for a work permit. Now, he's unlikely to reach that figure because due to Norway's standing as a Band 5 league, in the GBE criteria, accruing 10 points allows Leeds to lodge an appeal. Okay, so we're going to be able to make an appeal based on the number of points that he has. Now, as a youth player born after the 1st of January 2000, they can argue Klaesson shows significant potential and is of sufficient quality to enhance the development of the game in England. So there's one way they can lodge an appeal. Another way they can lodge an appeal is exceptional circumstances prevented the player from achieving 15 points. Now, if you don't know, Kristoffer Klaesson was called up to the Norway international side. If he'd have made an appearance in the international side, he'd have got his 15 points, which means he could have qualified for a work permit. However, because of COVID, he wasn't able to appear for the national side. So it's safe to say that's an exceptional circumstance. So if they go to the ball and say, look, if it weren't for COVID, he'd have played for Norway and we wouldn't have been having this question. So I don't think there's any worries whatsoever that Kristoffer Klaesson will become a Leeds United player. One person that won't be is Timo Koopmeiner, or Koopmeiner, who we spoke about yesterday. He has the same agent as Noah Lang, and the boys at LUFC Fan Zone reached out to him because they share the same agent. They've already spoke to him about Noah Lang. They spoke to him about Koopmeiner yesterday. And basically he said, look, Koopmeiner is going to leave AZ Alkmaar this summer. After 150 games and 46 goals in the Eredivisie, it's time for him to make the next step. We are in talks with several clubs, but for now, Leeds is not one of them. So agent saying, not happening. Koopmeiner is not coming to Leeds. I did find it difficult anyway because the likes of Bayern Munich, if they sell Goretzka, you've got Atalanta, you've got Roma, you've got a number of clubs that want Koopmeiner. He's probably going to go to Atalanta. I think they seem pretty further down the road with that deal. I think Arsenal were linked at one point as well. But one club that he won't be coming to is Leeds United if we listen to his agent. They also asked him about Noah Long while they were having a chat, and he said, look, concerning Noah, We still have to be patient and see what happens. Like I told you last month, at this moment, that is all I can say. So it sounds to me, again, like with the Rafinha one, Noah Lang's that #1 winger that we want. We know the centre midfielder now is Conor Gallagher. That's our transfer business done, in my opinion. If Victor Orta got what he wanted, it would be Noah Lang and Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, we're waiting to make a decision. Noah Lang, it depends on Club Brugge, if they're willing to move him on, if they need the money. That's what we're waiting on. For me personally, it's a bit like the Rafinha one. Will we get a call from Club Brugge late in the window to say Noah Lang's available? So we'll have to wait and see. And his agent's more or less confirming that by saying, look, we have to be patient and see what happens. The club will be sitting tight like they did with the Rafinha deal. They get that, boom, Noah Lang's in. In a perfect world, Firpo, Gallagher and Noah Lang, that's your business done, in my opinion. I may be wrong, but I think we're getting close to the names on the list. Of course, that might change. If Noah Lang isn't available and they get a call from Manchester United about Dan James, maybe they'll jump on that. Same with Kent at Rangers. One potential outgoing from a winger position is Kristoffer Somerville. If you remember yesterday, I brought you the news that there were a number of clubs in Belgium, in Holland, that were willing or waiting in the wings to see if he'd be available for a loan. Well, it's been reported in Thorp that Dutch side SC Camber are in talks with Leeds United over a loan move. They were promoted to the Eredivisie last season. So it's a good opportunity for him to gain first-team experience in a top division. And it looks like he may be leaving on loan. I think it'd be the right idea to send Somerville out on loan. There's a number of players ahead of him in the wing position. We're trying to increase the numbers as well, if indeed we don't move Acosta on, for example. So you'd find it even harder to break into that side. So I think a loan move would be the right move for Somerville. We've heard from Tyler Roberts as well. Tyler Roberts has returned to Thorp and said that basically they're working harder than ever before. They had stuff to do in the off-season. Since they've gone back, it's been great to be back, and they're working harder than ever before. And Leeds United and Bielsa know that they have to work harder than ever before, because the Premier League is going to be ready for us this time around. Teams will sit in. Teams will know what Leeds United are about, so they need to be at peak fitness. Of course, we'll still be the fittest team in the division. It's what we do. But it's nice to know that the lads are working harder than ever. And it's not like pie in the sky stuff where it's just like, yeah, we're working really hard during pre-season. You know they are, because Bielsa will not accept no slouchers. Just an update on tickets as well, guys. You can buy tickets today for the Real Betis pre-season friendly at Loughborough University on Saturday the 31st of July. That game's at 12:30, but you'll be able to buy tickets for it today. So make sure you check it out at Leeds United ticket office or wherever you want to get your tickets from. Just before we do finish as well, just an update. Apparently, due to COVID, players and fans and staff at games are set to require proof of double vaccinations for games from October the 1st, okay? Apparently, clubs are being urged to use the early matches as test runs between August and October, but know that from the 1st of October, it looks like it's going to be pushed through that you will need to be double jabbed in order to go to games. I've had both my vaccinations. That's okay. For me, that's okay. But as I say, those that want to go back to the football that maybe I don't know. From the 1st of October, it sounds like you'll need them to get into the grounds. And just something to finish as well, guys. I seen yesterday that Patrick Van Aanholt had agreed personal terms with that team over there, which means for me that Gianni Alioski won't be going there, which I'm absolutely buzzing about, okay? And it means I can be okay with the guy. Do you know what I mean? I've always liked him. This is what I must convey. I've always liked him. You just know that if he goes there, it's not that as a human, it's just I can't, you know? But now he's not going there anyway. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? But listen, enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope you have a fantastic one. It's been a long episode. I hope you got a lot from it. I enjoyed doing it, as is always the case. The views, the view duration, everything is up at the moment. The subscribers continue to grow. Thank you so much for your support. Before you do go, as I said, the link is in the description, right? Make sure you check it out for the Football Content Awards. Just vote for the Leeds. Just vote for the Leeds. Leeds always take more. Let's take over the Content Awards. But best new content creator, please vote for your boy Joe. If you vote for Connor, cool with that as well. As long as I get to go, I ain't asked, but just vote for me, man, for all the hard work that I put in. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out now. Leeds.